Hey gang, it's Dr. Brian McCarley from Genesis Family Chiropractic bringing you another episode of Doc About Town. And we are here at Everbowl on Westfield Road in Noblesville with Alex Yeater. And excited to kind of get to know what's going on here. We wanted to bring you guys an interview about Everbowl because this particular location, not only is it an Everbowl store, but they've got some other interesting things going on. So let's dive in here. We'll talk to Alex about what's going on. Alex, welcome. Thanks for doing this with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about your origin story. How did you get started with Everbowl? Kind of where'd you come from?
Yeah.
What's that look like for you?
Yeah, so it would have been three or so years ago. My business partner and I, Mitch, who's next door, you guys got to meet him.
Yeah.
We owned Verizon stores. At our largest, we had 32 Verizon stores. We owned a bunch of local Verizon stores, and we knew we were winding that down, and we were looking at what's going to be next. And we really wanted to find what they call an emerging franchise.
Sure.
Something that is on the way up, right?
Yeah.
An example I typically give is Crumble Cookie. And that's a real world example for me because I called about Crumble Cookie and they told me that Indiana was already sold out, right? And I was like, oh man, I want to find a franchise like that to be a part of. So we found Everbowl. Like I was telling you a little bit ago, I was on a mission trip out at LA at the LA Dream Center, had my first acai bowl like you're going to be having, and
awesome.
I felt really good after eating it, right? It didn't weigh me down, didn't slow me down. I felt energized the rest of the day. And I just had the thought of like, we need this in Hamilton County. And then I also, like I was telling you, I love the idea of, having a place for a bunch of high school kids to work. We get a lot of our employees from local high schools, a lot of homeschool kids. My son's homeschooled. That's why he's able to work here right now.
Sure.
But like Young Life is a good resource for employees and crew and all those great local organizations. So my partner and I went out to Everbowl in San Diego, tried the product. The product was absolutely amazing. And we started the process of bringing it here. While we were there, we were going to buy a lot of stores in Indiana, and they said we would like to talk you out of buying a lot of stores in Indiana. And when we asked why, they said, well, we have a Hall of Fame quarterback that's going to be partnering, and he wants to buy Indiana.
Okay.
So we found out that Drew Brees was going to be a part of the Everbowl family as well, which was really exciting. And so we ended up buying Tennessee. And we had the rights to one store, our Hamilton Town Center store that we opened. And we were selling the stores in Tennessee for Everbowl, sold a bunch of their stores. And then when we opened our store, it was December of 21, right at the end of 21, we opened up our local store. That's when we got to know Ben Smith, who's Drew Brees' business partner and college roommate, buddy for 20 plus years. And pitched them on the idea of doing some stuff together. Let's partner up. Let's open up a bunch of stores, but then let's help other people open up stores. And
sure,
it's been a really fun, exciting journey. Everbowl's first two core values are make friends and have fun, and I'm really good at that, and I love doing that,
awesome.
and I care about it. And so that's what we're doing. And the best part is like this product is it's good. It's good for you. In franchising, they call it the better for you category.
Okay.
And it just tastes really good. And we've got really simple processes. Once again, going back to what I said earlier, we have a lot of high school kids that work here, and we have kids from Noblesville, Fishers, HSE. We have some Horizon, Legacy. Those different types of schools.
Sure.
So a little bit of everybody. We have a really good mix here.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, there's a lot to unpack in that. You were talking before, and you kind of alluded to this now. You guys really see this as kind of a ministry, too, because you're able to provide a positive place for kids to have their first job, maybe.
Yeah.
And for adults to have a great job, too, a great opportunity to so it's more than just a business for you guys. It's an outreach, too, it sounds like. So really cool and it's amazing how thin the threads of our lives can be, how you get connected with Drew Brees because you're looking for a business opportunity.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about I mentioned it kind of in the intro here.
Right.
What's special about this location? Tell us about what you're doing there different there.
Yeah, so the interesting part, and you should tell a little bit of the story of what this was before Outhouse, but this used to be an Outhouse co-working space, and I actually was a member of the Outhouse co-working space.
Okay.
And Taylor, the previous owner, brought me in, and I was a member here for a while. I met some really amazing people while I was here that are still a part of my life.
Yeah.
That's a different long story. But I left the co-working space because my Everbowl was closer to Hamilton Town Center. I worked out of a co-working space there. And we were looking for a place to have our office, our headquarters, our training facility, and we wanted it to be attached to an Everbowl store.
Sure.
So I called Taylor one day and I said, hey, whenever the time comes that you're going to be exiting the outhouse space, I would be very interested in looking at it. And he said, I'm exiting it right now. He instantly got me in contact with the landlord, right? Long story short, we built this out. We ended up putting a wall right down the middle of the old outhouse co-working space. Half of this is our office, training facility, event space, and then we have our Everbowl store. So last month, we had some owners from Hudson, Ohio, come in and they trained with us for over the course of 5 days. They do classroom training, and then when they're done with the classroom training, they just walk through the door and they come over here and they do the restaurant side training.
Sure.
So very handy for us. We don't have to rent out a space, and it's just super convenient that we don't just talk about we don't talk about how to cut strawberries. It's like, walk over here and cut the strawberries yourself. Oh, and by the way, there's customers, so you get to learn customer interactions and our talk tracks, all that kind of stuff. So we're also going to be doing summits for our franchisees. We're going to bring them in here and open it up to the Everbowl family if Everbowl ever wants to use the space as well. So very excited about that. We are the best Everbowl stores across the country. They do a really good job of embracing the community. So we're already working on some community-based events where almost imagine like a flea market type thing where we have a group coming in April that it's women that sell products that they make at home, and they'll sell them, through. Sometimes they'll go to flea markets, sometimes they'll be online, but they're going to come in here on I think it's on the 20th of April till probably like 8 to noon. And it'll be like a vendor fair next door, but they're going to bring in over 100 people, and they're going to bring them in through the Everbowl store to get over there. So it's a win for us, it's a win for them. So we want to do a bunch of events like that, and then obviously the space over there, people can rent it out for individual parties, business meetings, and eventually a podcast studio. And it'll be a world-class podcast studio. The company that's building it out for us is building it out for MMA fighters, celebrities, professional athletes. It's a sister company to Everbowl. The same companies that builds out the furnitures and fixtures is going to be building out the podcast studio. So pretty awesome. It's a lot going on.
Multi-faceted. That's really cool. Talk a little bit more about acai. I say that right? And there had been a lot of information about it out maybe 10, 15 years ago, and then it seemed like it kind of went away for a while. But now you guys are really kind of bringing it back. Tell me a little more about that.
And it's interesting because Jeff Fenster, the founder of Everbowl, he has been a acai super fan for 10 plus years, right? And a lot of acai is a superfood. Tons of health benefits, strong antioxidants, and it's really good for you to eat, right? So he was constantly refining the product and creating his own recipe and made it in a way that you get all of those benefits and it tastes really well, but it's also very easy to serve. We don't blend stuff here, right? We're not like making this stuff with applesauce, like what you do at home with like some apple juice and bananas and stuff like that, right? You're able to just scoop that stuff out. So we have our bases. We have our acai base. We have a pitaya base. We have a coconut base. Well, you're going to do the acai. You're going to do like the traditional acai bowl. We call it our Everbowl. And then we also have a full moon here, which is our chocolate and vanilla. And the chocolate and vanilla is made with coconut cream, but then it's got like pure cacao chocolate infused in it. And then the vanilla, same thing. We got pure vanilla in there. Top stuff with fresh fruit that we're cutting all the time, really nonstop. We're constantly cutting fruit in here. We've got strawberries, bananas. Looks like our stuff, we have either strawberries or bananas and then some blueberries, but we also do pineapples, kiwi, and all sorts of yummy stuff.
Cool stuff. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's been around forever, as I was pointing out to your illustrious camera woman over there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, this has been really informative. I love that you guys are here, and it looks like you guys are really starting to pick up. You've been open about a month, right?
Yeah.
So things are going in the right direction. That's a fantastic thing. For those of you who have been around Noblesville for a while, he mentioned that I knew a little more about the history only because this was my first job in this building. So if you've been around Noblesville for a bit, think either O'Malley's grocery store in Noblesville by the hospital, or after that it was a Mancino's sub shop. So kind of know about those kind of things. That's kind of the history here. So now you have an idea of where it is. For those of you who aren't from Noblesville, Give us the address, Alex.
540 Westfield Road.
540 Westfield Road.
Directly behind the Starbucks. We typically tell people, catty corner from the hospital.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Well, great. Well, be sure and stop by, grab an Everbowl. I'm fixing to have my first one, actually. Looking forward to it. I'm kind of excited, actually. And give Alex and his team a shout here while you're here and spread the word. So, Alex, thanks again for taking this time and getting the camera here with us.
Appreciate it.
Sharing what you guys are about with our viewers. So
awesome.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Have
Thank
a great
you.
Day.
Yeah, you too.